Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's Voice to the World. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, Iran denounces unjustifiable reinstatement of UN nuclear sanctions, which took effect overnight. Sanctions come after last-ditch nuclear talks with Western powers fail. US calls on Iran to engage in direct talks. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar flags India's neighbour as an epicenter of global terrorism. Also stresses that the UN is gridlocked and in dire need of reform at the UNGA 80. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails women power in 126th episode of monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat. Also talks about GST Bachat Utsav, asking citizens to take a pledge of vocal for local during festive season. After 41 years and 17 editions, India and Pakistan clash in Asia Cup final at Dubai International Stadium today. Men in blue look to continue their unbeaten run. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar addressed the 80th UNGA, urging UN reforms, empathy for Global South and action against terrorism. He highlighted India's readiness for greater responsibilities, decried ongoing conflicts and stressed international cooperation for peace and a just world order.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar delivered a compelling address at the 80th United Nations General Assembly on Saturday. On building peace, the minister decried conflicts in Ukraine and West Asia, emphasizing nations like India must engage all sides for solutions. He lambasted terrorism, calling for choking its financing and sanctioning perpetrators.
Madam President, Excellencies, while asserting our rights, we must also firmly face up to threats. Countering terrorism is a particular priority because it synthesizes bigotry, violence, intolerance, and fear. India has confronted this challenge since independence, having a neighbor that is an epicenter of global terrorism. For decades now, major international terrorist attacks are traced back to that one country. UN's designated lists of terrorists are replete with its nationals. The most recent example of cross-border barbarism was the murder of innocent tourists in Pahalgam in April this year. India exercised its right to defend its people against terrorism and brought its organizers and perpetrators to justice.
The minister also called for urgent reforms to revitalize the gridlocked UN and greater empathy toward the Global South amid escalating global crises.
Central to the erosion of the UN's credibility has been resistance to reform. Most members strongly desire change, but the process is being made an obstacle to the outcome. It is imperative that we see through this cynicism and purposefully address the reform agenda. The historical injustice done to Africa should be redressed. Both permanent and non-permanent membership of the Council must be expanded. A reformed Council must be truly representative, and India stands ready to assume greater responsibilities.
Highlighting UN's credibility, Jaishankar stressed the need to expand the Security Council's permanent and non-permanent membership. He positioned India as a leader ready to shoulder more responsibilities, noting the nation's more than 600 development projects across 78 countries and aid in crises like earthquakes in Afghanistan and Myanmar.
The predicament of the global south is especially acute. Bharat, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, believes that it has both a duty to contribute and an obligation to motivate. They range from large infrastructure to small livelihoods, from capacity building to people's welfare, from concrete assets to education and training. India has been forthcoming in that regard, especially in its immediate vicinity. Whether it is finance, food, fertilizer or fuel, we have responded to the urgent requirements of our neighbors.
EAM Jaishankar's speech underscored the need for international cooperation, stating that islands of prosperity cannot flourish in an ocean of turbulence, advocating a reformed multilateralism for a just world order. Bureau Report, DD India.
Dr. Jaishankar also highlighted rising tariff volatility and uncertain market access, stressing that de-risking has now become a global necessity.
When it came to trade, non-market practices gamed rules and regimes. The resulting concentration exposed the world to leveraging. On top of that, we now see tariff volatility and uncertain market access. As a result, de-risking is a growing compulsion, whether from limited sources of supply or over-dependence on a particular market.
In another update from the UNGA, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has advocated for a permanent seat for India in the United Nations Security Council. Addressing the annual summit on Saturday, Lavrov said the current balance of the world is radically different from 80 years ago when UN was established.
The influence of the African Union, CELAC and other regional associations is growing. These new realities have not yet been adequately reflected in our organization's institutional framework. The issue of Security Council reform is particularly important. Russia calls for its democratization exclusively through the expansion of the representation of Asia, Africa and Latin America. We support the application of Brazil and India for permanent seats on the Council, while at the same time correcting the historical injustice towards Africa within the parameters that have been agreed by the countries of the continent themselves.
Besides, on the sidelines of the UNGA 80, EAM Jaishankar met with his Algerian counterpart Ahmed Attaf. The two leaders discussed strengthening the partnership and exchanged views on the West Asia. Dr. Jaishankar also met with Saudi Arabia's counterpart Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud. The leaders exchanged views on our bilateral cooperation and the regional situation. Dr. S. Jaishankar also met with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The two leaders discussed a range of key issues, including the UN at 80, evolving geopolitical trends, current global hotspots, and India's perspectives on pressing international matters. India's Minister of External Affairs also met President of the 88th UNGA, Annalena Baerbock, during which Dr. Jaishankar reaffirmed India's full support for her presidency. The minister reiterated India's commitment to working with the UN to make it more relevant, inclusive and reflective of contemporary global realities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation on Sunday through the 126th episode of his monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to freedom fighter Bhagat Singh and legendary singer Lata Mangeshkar on their birth anniversaries, highlighting their courage and cultural contributions. He spoke to Indian Navy officers Lieutenant Commander Dilna and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, who completed the Navika Sagar Parikrama, sailing 47,500 kilometers in 238 days, facing storms and raising India's flag at Point Nemo.
हमें इस एक्सपेडिशन में कई चैलेंजेस फेस करना पड़ा, स्पेशली सर सदर्न ओशन में हमेशा मौसम बुरा होता है. हमें 3 तूफानों को भी फेस करना पड़ा और सर हमारा बोट सिर्फ 17 मीटर का है और लेंथ में, उसका विड्थ है सिर्फ 5 मीटर्स। तो कभी कभी कुछ लहरें आती थी जो 3 स्टोरी बिल्डिंग से भी बड़ी थी सर, और हमने बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी और बहुत ज्यादा सर्दी दोनों फेस किया है हमारे जर्नी में। अंटार्कटिका में सर जब हम सेल कर रहे थे, हमारा टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्री सेल्सियस और 90 किलोमीटर पर आवर का हवा दोनों एक साथ हमको सामना करना पड़ा था, और हमने ठंड से बचने के लिए 6 to 7 लेयर कपड़े एक साथ पहनते थे, और पूरा सदर्न ओशन हमने ऐसी 7 लेयर ऑफ क्लोथिंग से किया।
The Prime Minister also talked about the relevance of GST Bachat Utsav during upcoming festivals and celebrations. He asked citizens to make festivals even more special by taking a pledge of vocal for local.
वोकल फॉर लोकल को खरीदारी का मंत्र बना दीजिए, ठान लीजिए हमेशा के लिए। जो देश में तैयार हुआ है वही खरीदेंगे, जिसे देश के लोगों ने बनाया है वही घर ले जाएंगे, जिसमें देश के किसी नागरिक की मेहनत है उसी सामान का उपयोग करेंगे। जब हम ऐसा करते हैं तो हम सिर्फ कोई सामान नहीं खरीदते, हम किसी परिवार की उम्मीद घर लाते हैं, किसी कारीगर की मेहनत को सम्मान देते हैं, किसी युवा उद्यमी के सपनों को पंख देते हैं।
The Prime Minister announced efforts to include Chhath Puja in UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List following Durga Puja's inclusion, urging people to go vocal for local and support Swadeshi goods to promote a self-reliant India. PM also mentioned the ongoing GST Bachat Utsav, through which he urged all to buy khadi on Gandhi Jayanti and supporting handloom innovations during upcoming festivals. Cleanliness not only strengthens a person mentally, physically and spiritually, but also lays the foundation for a healthy society. A clean and healthy society in turn accelerates the nation's progress. With this vision, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat mission on the 145th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi in 2014. The initiative marked the beginning of an unprecedented transformation, which soon evolved into a mass movement at the grassroots. Today, its remarkable impact is being acknowledged across the world. Here's a detailed report. Have a look.
युग सच अभियान का, प्रगति और उत्थान का, जीवन के हर पहलू में श्रमदान करे इंसान यहाँ।
With the dream of freeing the nation from garbage waste and building a clean and healthy India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat mission on 2nd October 2014. It stands as one of the largest cleanliness drives in the country's history. Its objectives included eliminating open defecation, constructing toilets, managing solid waste, changing hygiene-related behavior among citizens, and ensuring safe and adequate drinking water supplies across the nation.
The one important aspect was to ensure the quality of water. The Swachh Bharat mission made a lot of impact. And then stopping the flow of solid waste into the river. He referred to was trying to stop the flow of fertilizers into the river by promoting natural farming on the banks of the river.
The mission did not only cover urban areas but also included rural India. Under Swachh Bharat mission, Gramin Rural, the focus was on constructing individual and community toilets and eliminating open defecation. Meanwhile, Swachh Bharat mission, Urban, emphasized cleanliness of streets, lanes and urban infrastructure.
The Prime Minister was our communicator-in-chief. He never missed an opportunity to emphasize the importance of Swachhata. Whether it was in meetings with chief ministers, whether it was on his field visits, he kept emphasizing the importance of Swachhata in all its aspects.
Recognizing PM Modi's commitment to cleanliness since 2021, government offices across the country began conducting special cleanliness campaigns every year. These aim to maintain clean premises, strengthen record management, reduce pendency in ministries, departments, PSUs and regional offices, and to review, weed out files and dispose of e-waste. Over the past 4 years, the campaign has been successfully implemented in nearly 1 million government offices and overseas Indian missions. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has had a widespread impact across the country, raising public awareness about cleanliness. This awareness has instilled a sense of responsibility among people to keep public spaces clean. Cleanliness has today become an essential aspect of daily life, and the credit goes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who rightly said that the cleaner the country, the brighter it will shine. Bureau Report, DD India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. As Moldovans go to polls, we'll tell you what's more in store. Stay with us. Airports closed, thousands evacuated as Typhoon Waloi moves towards the country. Albania's Vjosa River named a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Widespread UN sanctions against Iran returned into force late Saturday for the first time in a decade after last-ditch nuclear talks with Western powers failed to produce a breakthrough. Britain, France and Germany triggered the return of sanctions on Iran at the UN Security Council over accusations the country has violated a 2015 deal that aimed to stop it developing a nuclear bomb. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons. An 11th-hour effort by Iran allies Russia and China to postpone the sanctions until April failed to win enough votes in the Security Council on Friday, leading to the measures taking effect at midnight GMT Sunday. Iran will again be subjected to an arms embargo and a ban on all uranium enrichment and reprocessing activities and any activity related to ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear weapons, including launches. Other sanctions to be reimposed include a travel ban on dozens of Iranian individuals, an asset freeze on dozens of Iranian individuals and entities, and a ban on the supply of anything that could be used in Iran's nuclear program. All countries are authorized to seize and dispose of any items banned under UN sanctions, and Iran will be prohibited from acquiring an interest in any commercial activity in another country involving uranium mining, production or use of nuclear materials and technology. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged Tehran to engage in direct talks with U.S. after UN sanctions return. Rubio also called on UN member states to immediately implement sanctions to pressure Iran's leaders to do what is right for their nation and best for the safety of the world. The British, French and German foreign ministers said in a joint statement they would continue to seek a new diplomatic solution to ensure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. They also called on Tehran to refrain from any escalatory action. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi urged UN Secretary General to prevent a revival of mechanism to implement UN sanctions after they were reimposed on Tehran. Araghchi wrote in a letter posted on X, and I quote, "We urge you to prevent any attempt to revive the sanctions mechanisms, including the Sanctions Committee and the panel of experts. Tehran will not recognize any attempt to extend, revive or enforce UN sanctions." Ukrainian government officials will visit the United States at the end of September or the next month for talks on major deals involving weapons purchases and drone production. Ukraine has previously prepared a deal worth about $90 billion to purchase American weapons and has shared its vision with Trump's administration. Kyiv was ready to discuss separate agreements, including on long-range weapons. President Volodymyr Zelensky said officials would also discuss the economy during the visits. During more than 3.5 years of the war against Russia, Ukraine has created a robust drone industry from scratch with hundreds of producers making millions of drones. Zelensky said that he had shared a certain vision with Trump on how to respond to Russia's actions.
There were 92 drones heading for Poland. We shot them all down. 19 made it to Poland. Of course, we shot them down over Ukrainian territory. You could say they were flying to us, but we saw their direction of travel and the choreography of their flight. That's why we are confident that 92 drones were flying to Poland. We shot them down. 19 passed through, 4 were shot down by Poland.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov warned the West on Saturday that any aggression against Moscow would face a decisive response, warning against attempts to down aircraft in Russian airspace and accusing Germany of militaristic rhetoric. Lavrov also singled out German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, referring to what he said was militaristic rhetoric, and said Moscow was alarmed by remarks by politicians in EU and NATO capitals of a looming World War III as a likely scenario. Despite taking aim at NATO and the European Union, Lavrov made clear Moscow remained hopeful of frank dialogue with the United States under Trump, despite the US president's recent shifting stance.
Threats of force against Russia, accused of practically planning an attack on North Atlantic and the European Union, are becoming increasingly common. President Putin has repeatedly debunked such provocations. Russia has never had and does not have such intentions, but any aggression against my country will be met with a decisive response. There should be no doubt about this among those in NATO and European Union who not only convince their voters of inevitability of war with Russia and urge them to tighten their belts, but also openly declares preparation for an attack on our Kaliningrad region and other Russian territories.
Venezuela carried out military exercises in coastal areas on Saturday after the US deployed ships off its coast, stirring invasion fears. Washington has deployed military vessels to the Caribbean based on claims of combating drug trafficking, targeting at least 3 boats in recent weeks, allegedly loaded with drugs from Venezuela, resulting in 14 fatalities. Caracas denounces the US deployment, calling it a military threat. The exercises in the northwest state of Falcon and the northeast state of Sucre coincided with the government-ordered a drill to prepare for natural disasters. The exercise involved cannons being fired into the sea and amphibious vehicles being disembarked from a boat and moving onto shore. And let's take you to Moldova now. Polls opened in Chisinau on Sunday as Moldovans vote in a parliamentary election that could have a major impact on the government's quest to join the European Union, as a popular pro-Russian group seeks to steer the small nation away from closer ties with the bloc. If no party wins a majority in the 101-seat parliament, negotiations and deal-making will likely occur, causing further instability in one of Europe's poorest countries. To a government aspiring to join the EU, control of parliament is vital for the long-term legislative efforts required. Moscow has denied meddling and said the PAS-controlled government is spreading anti-Russian hysteria to win votes. And voting concluded across the Seychelles archipelago on Saturday, that spanned for 3 days, beginning on Thursday for remote islands and essential workers. Results are expected to be announced on Sunday. Over 77,000 registered voters cast their ballots to choose both a president and members of the National Assembly. 8 candidates contested the presidency, including incumbent President Abel Ram Kalawan of the Seychelles Democratic Alliance, who is seeking re-election. His main challenger is Patrick Khamenei of the United Seychelles, the country's largest opposition party. If no candidate receives more than 50% of the vote, the 2 top candidates will proceed to a runoff. And the junta-led country of Guinea announced that the presidential election will be held on December 28. The announcement followed the Supreme Court's approval of a referendum result that endorsed a new constitution, clearing the path for the upcoming elections. Opposition parties urged voters to boycott the referendum, accusing General Mamadi Doumbouya of leveraging it to maintain his hold on power. However, the Supreme Court dismissed a petition to annul the referendum results, and indications suggest that Doumbouya might run for president despite earlier pledges not to. Weather updates now from across the world. And first up from Vietnam, where airports have been closed and thousands of people evacuated as intensifying typhoon Boaloi barreled towards the country. The emergency measures are being taken days after typhoon caused at least 11 deaths and widespread flooding in the Philippines. The typhoon is expected to make landfall in central Vietnam late on Sunday. Vietnam suspended operations at 4 coastal airports from Sunday, including Da Nang International Airport, and adjusted the departure time of several flights. Heavy rain has already caused flooding in Hue and Quang Tri. Meanwhile, as Typhoon Boaloi intensifies, southern China's Hainan province has raised its typhoon alert and suspended transport and school operations over the South China Sea. The island is already reeling under strong winds and torrential rain. To cope with it, Hainan's capital city of Haikou has suspended ports operations from 9:00 on Sunday, with closures expected to last until the night of Sunday. Rail services have also been disrupted, with all outbound trains and 2 inbound trains cancelled. Authorities warned that the storm's impact will peak between Sunday and Monday, with widespread downpours and dangerous gusts expected. Update now on Hurricane Humberto, which has strengthened into Category 5 storm on Saturday as it churned across the Atlantic. While a newly formed system, Tropical Depression 9, is raising greater concerns for the southeastern United States in the days ahead. Several southeastern U.S. states are bracing for the storm's potential impact, with at least one already declaring a state of emergency. The storm is also expected to bring heavy rainfall across the region, with forecasts calling for up to 8 inches in the Bahamas, as much as 16 inches in Cuba, and around 4 inches in Jamaica and Hispaniola. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. On Saturday, Albania's Vjosa River was named a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, making it one of Europe's last wild rivers. The river flows undammed for 272 kilometers through Greece and Albania. The move follows years of conservation efforts, including support from Leonardo DiCaprio to protect its natural beauty and wildlife. Xiaomi Maria Lu, a 24-year-old from Neustadt, Germany, creates custom anime and nature-themed sneakers through her brand Customs by Mai. Gaining popularity, her work includes orders from athletes like Toni Kroos. Each pair takes 6 to 12 hours, and she loves making people happy with her art. American actress and singer Selena Gomez married music producer Benny Blanco in a star-studded Southern California wedding ceremony on Saturday. Gomez shared pictures on her Instagram handle in a wedding dress, with Blanco donning a tuxedo. The post was captioned 9/27/25 between 2 white hearts, with Blanco commenting, "My wife in real life." Polar bears have occupied an abandoned Soviet research station on Kolyuchin Island in Russia's Chukchi Sea. A travel blogger captured footage of the bears exploring the deserted buildings, with some interacting playfully. The station was vacated by scientists shortly after the Soviet Union collapsed over 30 years ago. And still to come on DD India News Hour. As death toll rises to 39 in Tamil Nadu stampede, we will tell you more about it. Stay tuned. India's Union Minister of Home Affairs and Cooperation Amit Shah will be attending a session of Bharat Manthan 2025. We'll tell you about the power of yoga and how it's leading the way across the globe, including Canada. You're watching the Indian News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of the headlines. Iran denounces unjustifiable reinstatement of UN nuclear sanctions, which took effect overnight. Sanctions come after last-ditch nuclear talks with Western powers fail. US calls on Iran to engage in direct talks. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar flags India's neighbour as an epicenter of global terrorism, also stresses that the UN is gridlocked and in dire need of reform at the UNGA-80. PM Modi hails women power in 126th episode of Mann Ki Baat. Also talks about GST Bachat Utsav, asking citizens to take a pledge of vocal for local during festive season. After 41 years and 17 editions, India and Pakistan clash in the Asia Cup final at Dubai International Stadium today. Men in blue look to continue their unbeaten run. The death toll in a stampede at a rally in southern India's Karur district of Tamil Nadu has risen to 39, while 51 others were injured. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin held an emergency meeting following the incident. He said a single-member commission has been mandated to look into the circumstances leading to the tragedy. Commission led by retired Madras High Court Judge Justice Aruna Jagadisan will submit the report, and action will be taken based on that. The commission member is expected to reach Karur today and initiate its proceedings. Meanwhile, police have registered a case against a few of the organizers of the political rally. Earlier, Tamil Nadu CM Stalin announced a solitum of rupees 10 lakh each from the Chief Minister's Relief Fund for the families of those who died in the stampede. He said in the statement that those who were injured in the tragic incident will be given rupees 1 lakh. Meanwhile, the leader of the TVK, Vijay, in whose Karur rally the stampede and loss of lives occurred, wrote on his social media account on X saying he is shattered and is under deep pain that cannot be expressed in words. He has expressed his condolences for those who died in the incident and prayers for the speedy recovery of those who are injured. Meanwhile, condolences are pouring in from across the country. President Draupadi Murmu expressed grief over the Karur tragedy and extended condolences to the families of the victims. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed grief over the loss of lives in the stampede, calling the incident deeply saddening. The Prime Minister conveyed his condolences to the bereaved families and wished a speedy recovery to those injured. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also expressed deep sorrow over the Karur stampede and wished speedy recovery of the injured. External Affairs Minister, who is currently in New York, also expressed grief and prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured. And DD India's Ritesh Ranjan joins us from Chennai. Ritesh, it's very sad whatever happened. We understand that, but what is the current situation right now?
The current situation is, as official data has come out, 39 people have died and 51 has been injured. But the numbers are quite high. What has been given by the government, because the data what we have got, it is from the government authorities, where the government hospitals where the injured and that people have been sent out after that incident. But then there are private hospitals where people are admitted. So what are the numbers in private hospital? It is not yet. It is yet to come out. So we are not sure about the numbers. And here, the people are, speaking to local people. People are talking about, is this a conspiracy?
Okay.
Like to defame.
So what's your assessment on
actor.
that?
See, my assessment. If you see to just analyze the situation, there are three things which I have. From my analysis, and what I found it is, one is that actor Vijay's rally, he was supposed to come there by 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. From morning itself, people started coming to the ground, and that place was actually a congested place. And just 2 days before, former CM Edapadi Palaniswamy also had a meeting there. So people started coming, and he delayed the program. It was supposed to start by 3 o'clock, and then it started around 8 o'clock. So before he reaches to the ground, people keep on coming, and that the permission was granted for 10,000 people, and more than 10,000 people, around 50,000 people gathered over there. And especially when Vijay arrived, what happened is suddenly current went off.
Okay.
And when the current went off, the speaker were not working, so people wanted to come close to the Vijay's van and listen to him what he is saying. So in that scenario, this stampede happened. And second thing, what is that government machinery is failure. That when you see that more than 10,000 people are coming, and there is no police bandobast is not there. So what police were doing? Police has to analyze the situation and make the arrangement in advance. That was not done. And third is that people. How fool are we that we are taking our kids to such places where thousands of people are going to gather. So it is very risky, and then they took risk, and say it is reported that 10 kids are dead in this incident. So it is very unfortunate. And conspiracy, why I'm saying now, because the local people are saying that suddenly.
Definitely.
And,
Ritesh, I would like to ask you two questions in a row. Number one is, wasn't there any power backup, since you said that current went off as soon as Vijay came there? Number two, have you been able to...
It was actually a road, connecting a road.
Okay.
No venue.
Ritesh, number second, have you been able to speak to any survivors or eyewitnesses?
See, I happened to speak to my local reporter who was reporting from Karur, and he said, because those who gathered there, they are Vijay's fan. And they never had, they have, a kind of pity that, they're sad that Vijay didn't turn up. He didn't utter a single word after the incident. That is what they are sad about. Otherwise, they see there is a conspiracy behind it.
All right. Since this is developing, we'll keep taking updates from you, Ritesh, but as of now, we leave it there. Thank you so much. Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan today graced the valedictory session of the 3rd Unmesh International Literature Festival today in Patna, Bihar, as the chief guest. Addressing the gathering, the Vice President said that Unmesh signifies the awakening of new ideas, narratives and perspectives, celebrating diversity in thought and bridging divides of language, culture, geography and ideology. He expressed confidence that Unmesh will continue to be a cornerstone of literary culture, inspiring future generations of writers, thinkers and readers. Earlier, the Vice President began his Bihar visit by paying floral tributes to Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan at JP Golamba in Patna. India's Union Minister of Home Affairs and Cooperation Amit Shah will be attending a session of Bharat Manthan 2025 Naxal Mukt Bharat, ending Red Terror under PM Modi's leadership on Sunday in New Delhi. The session will focus on the government's efforts and achievements in combating Naxalism and promoting peace and development in affected regions. The event highlights the progress made under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership towards creating a Naxal-free India. And news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir now. 2 infiltrators were killed in a pre-dawn encounter after the army foiled an infiltration attempt along the line of control in North Kashmir's Kupwara district on Sunday. According to defense sources, the incident took place around 4 a.m. near Haider Post in the Karen sector, when a group of heavily armed terrorists tried to cross over into the side of the LOC. The army retaliated, leading to an intense gunfight in the rugged terrain close to the border fence. In an exchange of fire, 2 infiltrators were killed. While the identity and affiliation of the slain terrorists were not immediately known, sources suggested they were part of larger group attempting to infiltrate from the Pakistan-administered side of Kashmir. The army has intensified vigil across forward areas of Kupwara and other LOC sectors following a series of infiltration attempts in recent weeks. On the occasion of Gunners Day, a wreath-laying ceremony was solemnized at National War Memorial in New Delhi. Director General Artillery and Senior Colonel Commandant Lieutenant General Adosh Kumar, along with serving personnel and veterans, paid homage to the brave hearts on behalf of all ranks of the Regiment of Artillery. The ceremony reflected the deep respect and gratitude of the artillery fraternity for the brave hearts who laid down their lives for the nation. India's growing food and beverage sector is attracting global attention at the World Food India 2025. International exhibitors are finding immense opportunities for trade, with India emerging as a key market for expansion. Here's a report.
The World Food India 2025 brought together global players under one roof, showcasing diverse cuisines, food products and innovations. International exhibitors say India's fast-evolving consumer base offers a massive market for collaboration and growth.
Partner country is to demonstrate a desire and intent to be a trusted partner with India, particularly in the food and beverage space, where we have a great reputation for food safety and for premium high quality foods. So we have a large delegation here from New Zealand who have travelled to be here, and the experience has been fantastic. We have been really well looked after by the organisers. We had the Minister come and meet our delegation this morning, which was also a great experience for them. One of the advantages of New Zealand's food and beverage, and particularly our fresh produce, is that it's counter-seasonal to India. We don't compete with Indian produce.
Japanese exhibitors are optimistic about India's growing awareness of health-based beverages. Matcha, the traditional Japanese green tea, is gaining popularity among Indian visitors. Exhibitors believe this trend marks the beginning of a strong business opportunity.
This is our first time to be in India. Before coming here, I didn't know much about India market, but definitely in the last 3 days, I feel strong potential of the matcha. Lots of people know the word matcha. I'm really surprised. And even though still people are asking us, what is matcha? Yes, right? But after tasting our samples, most of them give us the good feedback. I'm really happy with it. So it makes me feel even stronger potential. Yes, I'm really glad being here.
Thailand exhibitors too have spotted strong potential in India's large-scale rice consumption. With India being one of the largest consumers of rice globally, Thai exporters are looking forward to establishing deeper trade partnerships.
To penetrate the Indian market because they have a lot of questions about our product. Even India has some rice, but then our product is made from Thai rice, which have different property. Our rice more softer and then stickier, and then we can use our rice to make like rice noodle or rice vermicelli, which Indian rice seems not to be suitable to make this kind of product. People come and ask me like, what's the proper way to cook it, and then whoever had been to Thailand, they say, oh, they love this kind of products. But in India, they don't have anywhere to sell it yet. So I think I see a good opportunity to get some market here.
From dairy and beverages to staple food items, international exhibitors at the World Food India 2025 agree on the fact India remains one of the most promising market in the global trade. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
And Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha inaugurated the Seva Parv at Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine, launching a 2-week campaign promoting public service, volunteerism and community engagement across the Union Territory. Participants took a pledge for selfless service and social welfare. The Seva Parv aims to foster unity and dedication to societal betterment, encouraging active involvement from communities. The inauguration at the Holy Shrine underscores the spiritual and social significance of this transformative campaign. And still to come on DD Indian News. The World Food India 2025 brings stakeholders, collaborators and many other people. Padma Shri awardee and renowned sand artist Doordarshan Patnaik unveils his 250-ball sand art ahead of India versus Pakistan clash. And we get you visuals of India's movement against obesity, and for a fitter tomorrow, the Fit India Sundays on cycle.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. Arey, it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD Indian News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. In Toronto, where the Canada-India Foundation hosted an exclusive event featuring one of the world's leading authorities on yogic sciences, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, recognized among the top 2% of scientists worldwide in complementary medicine. Dr. Nagendra spoke about the power of yoga to transform individual health and reduce healthcare costs. Our correspondent Tarun Paul brings us this report.
Ideas and inspiration unfolded in Toronto as Canada's India's Foundation hosted an exclusive program featuring Dr. H.R. Nagendra, one of the world's foremost authorities on yogic sciences. The event brought together community leaders, professionals and academics to hear about the latest breakthrough in yoga and alternative medicine.
You know, in any society there are both things are there, negative and the positive, where the strength and the weakness. But what should you do in the SWOT analysis? Strength should be developed, weakness should be reduced, and we used to use the opportunities and threats we have to meet. That's how we have to work on that thing. When we do that, then we'll be able to bring this to the forefront.
Dr. Nagendra highlighted how yogic practices not only transform individual health but also offer the potential to ease mounting healthcare costs. Recognized by Stanford University as among top 2% of global scientists in complementary medicine, he is president of S. Vyasa University in Bengaluru, a pioneering institution dedicated to yoga research.
On the other hand, if you harness on the negativity, this is not there, it's not there, it's not there, everything. You know, in any society there are both things are there, negative and the positive, where the strength and the weakness. But what should you do in the SWOT analysis? Strength should be developed, weakness should be reduced, and we used to use the opportunities and threats we have to meet. That's how we have to work on that thing. When we do that, then we'll be able to bring this to the forefront.
His distinguished career has included research at NASA, postdoctoral work in Canada at the University of British Columbia, and a groundbreaking collaboration with leading medical institutes such as MD Anderson Cancer Center in the United States. From Toronto, this is Tarun Paul.
India and Pakistan are ready to battle for the third time in this Asia Cup in Dubai, marking the very first time that both the nations will compete in the final in tournament's 41-year history, giving the clash an added intensity. DD India's Mukesh Shukla brings you this report ahead of the final showdown.
The stage is set as India will take on Pakistan in the final of the Asia Cup 2025 at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, marking the first time that the two arch rivals will meet in Asia Cup final in 41 years history of the tournament. This will be the third and final meeting between the two teams in the marquee T20I competition and the fourth overall at this venue in 2025. The men in blue have enjoyed a flawless campaign so far, winning all 6 of their matches, including 2 victories over Pakistan, once in the group stage and again in the Super 4 stage. Riding on this momentum, the Surya Kumar Yadav-led side will be aiming to get the better of their arch rivals once more and secure their record-extending 9th Asia Cup title. Pakistan, on the other hand, have had a stop-start journey. They suffered defeats only against India but managed to win all their other matches, some comfortably and others by bare margins, giving their fans a lot to cheer about. Their campaign has been mixed, but they have found ways to win through collective efforts rather than relying on individual brilliance. Talking about the rivalry between the two teams in finals, India and Pakistan have played 5 finals in limited overs tournaments that have included more than 5 teams. India's only wins have come in the Benson and Hedges World Championship of Cricket and the inaugural T20 World Cup in 2007. Pakistan have won the other 3 encounters, that is Australasia Cup and most recently the Champions Trophy. Whereas in the head-to-head battle in T20Is, India take the lead, winning 12 out of 15 encounters. The India-Pakistan rivalry in cricket finals has always delivered intense and unforgettable moments. With history, pride and a coveted trophy on the line, this Asia Cup 2025 final promises to be yet another thrilling chapter in this storied competition. Mukesh Shukla's report, DD India, Dubai.
India's bowling coach Moni Mokal said the team needs to improve in all departments, especially bowling and catching ahead of summit clash with Pakistan in Asia Cup.
That we need to get sharper at. I mean, the boys have skills, they've played in a lot of white ball cricket, but I just think for this group a little bit under pressure, just to have a little bit more smarter clarity thinking with ball in hand and execute better. I think at the end of the day we can have all the plans, but we still need to execute better. And then with the field, in the field, you know, obviously catching and you know, we've worked hard on our catching on the light, so maybe it's just a little bit of a confidence thing. And yeah, just try and squeeze the guys in the field. So all departments there is you know, work that we need to be done.
And DD India's Mukesh Shukla joins us from Dubai. Hi Mukesh, a very good afternoon. How's the Josh ahead of the clash?
Siddharth, set, you know, the podium is set for the high octane match between India versus Pakistan, and the spectators about to reach to the stadium as per the Dubai police guidelines. They must be reached before 3 hours. So the big extravaganza over there in Dubai International Stadium. But who will win? This is the big question. Already India beaten Pakistan twice in this tournament in the group stage, Super 4. How Pakistan, you know, have to bounce back, it has to see, because their single contribution cannot be able to register a win in this final match. They have to contribute like as a team. One of the player, you know, playing in the batting side, one of the player playing from the bowling side, it's not good enough for Pakistan.
Definitely.
If they have to win against India, they have to come strongly in a, you know,
But Mukesh, with the way Team India are playing, it seems like they will only win this encounter. This is what we can say by the way they are playing in the entire Asia Cup, certainly. But tell us, Mukesh, what are people saying? How excited are they? You know, we saw your reports, some wonderful reports coming. You also were talking to Indian fans. They were really excited ahead of the clash. What are people saying?
See, the expectations are high. They believe that India will win this Asia Cup. They again beat Pakistan in a today match, and you know, complete the hat trick because Abhishek Sharma, Shubman Gill. If you see the talent of both guys, they are they opened for the Punjab when they were in under 12. Again, they are, you know, giving opening slot to the Indian side. Both played against from the Punjab side, as well as Tilak Verma. The last match against Sri Lanka, he played fabulous, and but the important knock is awaited from Surya Kumar Yadav. Still, we are waiting if Surya Kumar Yadav blasts today in this match. So win-win situation for India. Their bowlers, you know, did very well in the previous game.
Definitely,
Super 4, like Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav. They bowled well. Varun Chakravarti, Akshar Patel, Shivam Dubey, or whether the Arshdeep Singh will get the chance in
that. We'll have to wait and see. But what we can say, Mukesh, it's a mega clash. It's India versus Pakistan, Asia Cup 2025 final. The stakes are high, but as India are performing since the start of the tournament, we can certainly say that India will win this tournament. We'll keep taking updates from you, Mukesh, but thank you so much. We leave it there. Thank you. Padma Shri awardee and renowned sand artist Doordarshan Patnaik has unveiled a spectacular sand sculpture in East India's Puri beach, combining the festive spirit of Durga Puja with the excitement surrounding the upcoming Asia Cup 2025 final. The 6-foot-tall sculpture features a powerful depiction of Ma Durga blessing the Indian cricket team, a visual tribute to national unity, cultural pride and sporting spirit. The captivating installation carries the uplifting message, Ma Durga's blessings. Good luck, Team India. And we get you visuals of the nationwide fitness campaign run by Sports Ministry. Hundreds of fitness enthusiasts rode bicycles in New Delhi to spread the message of active lifestyle and better health. The campaign encourages citizens to incorporate cycling into their daily lives as a simple yet effective way to stay healthy and reduce the ill effects of obesity. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.